Medicare expecting a 9.7% increase in Part B, but it's free. This is nuts, dudes. Right here from the most recent Medicare actuarial report. Right here, estimated Part B costs increase around 9.7 over the next 5 years. 9.7. So if we take our trusty calculator, we do a doubling, 72. So we say 72 divided by 9.7. That should double in 7.5 years. The cost of your Medicare premium should double in 7.5 years. That's only over the next 5 years. Okay, that's great. So check this out. Next 10 years, this is just for Part B, physician services. Over the next 10 years, they're calling for an 8.5% increase. So if it goes from 9.7, obviously lower the following 5 years, 8.5%. All right. And then from 2033 to 2047, 5.5%. This is what I use for Medicare or any kind of health insurance inflation at 5.5%. Here's Part A, a 7% increase. Here's Part D, 5.8% increase. Now, obviously, the reason why is because there's so many baby boomers jumping on board. And then I'll show you here. I'll level up. Just as a side note, Medicare expenditures as percentage of GDP. 2023 is right about here. Is right about 4%, give or take. In 2035, when your old buddy Josh will be 65, it'll be up there about 5.5%. Look at that growth. That's because of baby boomers. And they'll level off a little bit, and they'll even drop later on down the road. But that's what we're talking about. There's 5 components of Medicare expenditure growth. Growth of overall prices as measured by CPI. Oh boy, CPI, because we really needed to use owner's equivalent rent in Medicare CPI. That makes sense. Okay, maybe growth of Medicare prices relative to the growth in CPI. Growth in number of beneficiaries, that's a big one. Change in the demographic composition of the beneficiaries and change in the volume and intensity of the services. All right, let's keep going. To survive till 2047, their estimates are pretty low for increasing, 3.7 for the total Medicare. That's good, but we're going to be hit hard for the next 15 years. I guess even more than that, 20 years. There's another side note. The trustees project that hospital insurance, that's Part A, which you don't pay for once you're on Medicare, but we do. Tax and income and other non-interest income will fall short of hospital insurance incurred expenses beginning in 2025. The Hospital Insurance Trust Fund does not meet either the trustees' tests of short-range financial adequacy or their tests of long-range close actuarial balance. So the estimated depletion date for the HI Trust Fund is 2031, 3 years later than projected because of COVID. What? That's crazy, huh? You know where I'm going with this, right? You know where I'm going with this. We have less beneficiaries, so it means the trust fund will be exhausted later on. Almost by, I'm not saying anything, same with Social Security. As the term we just talked about, the HI is not adequately financed over the next 10 years. Yep. This was pretty interesting. Your average benefit per enrollee is about $15,000, which, and you're paying about $5,000 to $6,000 of that. So, you're getting the government to contribute $8,000 of your $6,000, or maybe $9,000 essentially. So there's just not enough money to cover it. And the Medicare is dying on the vine a hell of a lot quicker than Social Security. All parts of Medicare, growth in the number of beneficiaries is highest over the next 10 years as the baby boom generation continues to enter Medicare and slows continually thereafter. Just got to make it through the next couple of years. And here's general revenue transfers, because they're only getting premiums to cover this. Payroll taxes cover that. Tax on benefits covers that. And that's it. That is the general revenue transfers from the federal government's massive cash haul that we have, because we have all this cash, enough to pay billions of dollars for legal immigrants to send to freaking Ukraine, all that crap. This whole thing is just insanity. You know it is. I know it is. We don't have any money, and yet we're sending billions and billions and billions of dollars all over the world, and yet our own Medicare is underfunded. We're actually contributing to the general fund for health insurance for Ukrainians, while our own health insurance is in a world of hurt. And I'm the crazy one for saying that. I'm a Putin stooge for saying this is nuts, dude. Government contributions are projected to gradually increase from 43% of Medicare financing in 2022 to about 49% in 2040. Growth in these contributions at the share of GDP adds significantly to the federal budget pressures, because we're already running surpluses as far as Look, dude, it's a Ponzi scheme. It's going to collapse. There's no other way around it. What they do when they collapse, just like the NHS and stupid UK and the stupid UK and Canada, is just rationing. Now, the sad thing is the people who get the benefits are the people, the biggest rabble rousers. So I was reading the NHS that got these gender fluid people. They want the immediate surgeries for a gender fluid is whatever the thing is called. And they'll probably get it while other people are waiting. I had a guy on my YouTube channel say, "Oh, the NHS, you don't have to worry about it for healthcare. You know, it's all free." I said, "Yeah, wait till you get a hip replacement or knee replacement. How long is it going to take?" He goes, "Yeah, my wife is." I said, "How long have you been waiting?" I think he said like 5 years. I said, "Well, thank God she's not in pain." I don't know if she is or not. I said, "If she's in pain, what? Huh? 5 years?" I couldn't. And he was like touting, he's advocating the NHS because it's free. I said, it's not free. If you're in pain, you got to wait 5 years for a hip or knee replacement. It's insanity, dudes. And now they got these rabble rousers protesting out front of NHS saying, we want gender transitioning. We want it now. What do we want? Gender transitioning surgery. When do we want it now? And they're going to get it because of rabble rousers. Yet everyone else is going to be sitting on the freaking in a world of hurt because we aren't rabble rousers. That's the NHS. The same thing here. They don't have so much money, so they give it to the politically approved people. There's no other way around this, dude. If you're part of the politically approved, you will get service fast and quick. If you're not part of the politically approved, you're not. You're going to wait. It's rationing. Hospital Insurance Trust Fund, HI. All right, so we got total expenditures 342 in 2022. So we're going to go 342 is our present value, and we're going to go, that's 10 years, 10N. And 737 is our future value. No payments. How much is that? That is a rate of increase of 8% a year right there. 8% a year. That's on HI. All right. And then how much? Oh, my goodness. In 2030, we run out of money. We run out of money. Fund at the end of the year, 196. Fund at the end of the year, $40 billion. And then we run flat out of money. Dude, do you think this is going to, I mean, and here you can see the estimate right there. Blink, 2031. Financial status of the SMI Trust Fund. That's a supplementary medical insurance. Comprises Part B and Part D. All right, each with its own separate accounts within the SMI Trust Fund. Let's take a look here. Part B and Part D differ fundamentally from HI and old age survivor disability insurance. All right, so that's the Social Security stuff. Part D and Part D differ fundamentally from those in regard to the nature of the financing and the method by which their financial status is evaluated. Both parts are voluntary and are mostly financed by premiums from participants and contributions from the general fund, whereas OASDI and HI are compulsory. All right, does that make sense? I hope so. Anyway, so again, we go back to here. Estimated Part B costs increase about 9.7% over the next 5 years. Faster than the GDP growth rate of 4.4. And if you think the GDP is going to grow at 4.4, I got some oceanfront property in Arizona. And we can see the Part B account. Let's see. Total income, total expenditures, change and fund. So we're sitting at fund at the end of this year, 2032, is $292 billion. So we got expenditures right there, 1.02. So what's happening is just that's attributing to the premium increases because it's raising the premiums. So they got the money in there, and they're going to get it from raising the premiums, if that makes sense. Where premiums going up, no other way around that. Whereas the HI, because they don't have a premium once you're on it, they're going to have to get it from someplace else, the general fund. Now, they're still going to need money from the federal government. Don't get me wrong. They don't have enough to cover. And look at this. Total expenditures, 1.02 million. Their expectations for total income is 1 billion. Well, that's trillions of dollars right there, by the way. Yeah, we'll see. I don't know about that, but we'll see. Anyway, that also includes increasing premiums pretty significantly, too. As a side note, we're estimating the Part D, its prescription drugs, will grow at a rate of 6.2% a year over the next 5 years. So here you see the total expenditures, and then you see the total premiums. So that's got to be made up from someplace. Where does that come from? Well, it's going to be taxes. It's just, look at that. There's no other way around that. And we'll have to see how that shakes out. All right, let's wrap this up. I just want to go back to what we saw up here. Hold on a second. Be patient, my amigos. Be patient. That's not it. Just right here real quick. Pause. For the next 10 years, is 8.5% increase in Medicare Part B, 7% increase in Part A. Again, that won't be affecting you if you're on Medicare. 5.8% in Part D. All right, so that's a challenge. Then from 2033 to 47 it goes to 5.5. Then from then on it goes to 4.2. So again, for me, I use 5.5 as the average increase in Medicare, and that just makes sense to me because yeah, you can't, I mean, you can change every year. I'm just not going to do that. And same thing, I use a 5.5 for Part D as well. So for all healthcare spending and right capital, I use a 5.5. Anyway, good times had by all. I hope you get your ducks in a row because you know where the big taxes are going to come. They're going to come from the people who have massive amounts of IRA income. I'm just telling you. And so you can say all day long, "Don't tax me, don't tax me." I hope you're focusing. They're going to get the taxes, dude. And to sit there and say, "Don't raise taxes," well, you're going to have to. So how do you raise tax? Well, again, you increase the payroll taxes one way because there has to be some skin in the game. But you tax those freaking people who made out like bandits over the last 20 years with a rise in freaking capital assets, i.e., stocks. You got to tax these people with Medicare taxes. I don't understand how people think that's nuts. That's socialistic. They made out like bandits because the government had low interest rates, dude. I'm just telling you right now, when there's low interest rates, capital assets appreciate. To tax those as long-term capital gains, that's great, except for the fact that we have no money. We can't afford that anymore. You're going to have to tax those as ordinary income, or at least with a 7.65, however you want to do it. There's no alternative, my friends. And you can call me a socialist, a Democrat, all you want. If I'm a Republican, and I am, I'd sit there and say, this is a freaking issue that's easy to win on. I don't the Republicans, because they're freaking Washington generals. They're not supposed to win. All right, love your thoughts. We'll see you.